Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So this is going to be another Eternal Crusade video. Yes, I'm sorry in advance. I know Eternal Crusade, me and Eternal Crusade, we've had some good times, bad times, sad times, evil times, amazing times. But I just want to talk about it and make some feelings known. Since Nathan Richardson, one of the, I think his title was the lead producer of the game, if I'm not mistaken, has now confirmed that he has left this game. Now, as you can see with the tweet in the background, Nathan has confirmed his departure from Eternal Crusade. The Emperor Protects, as do the Gods, was a great 4-year run. Emotions still run deep for #4Crusade. It was quite personal. There won't be any announcements, as is common in the industry procedure, and covered by NDA, AV Crusaders, JBreg, and Pietrick will take good care of you. Now, when Nathan came on the project, I was actually kind of pleased because he did get a lot of stuff going. But the more and more he was involved in the project, the less and less I really took to him. This is my personal view on him. I think he overpromised more and more stuff. He promises the Steam Workshop, Terminators, all that kind of stuff. And his general attitude towards people asking questions, I thought was quite abrupt. And for someone in his position, I thought there should have been more respect given to a lot of people who were generally asking questions about the project. I can understand with people being trolls and being general dicks. I can completely understand that. But there were some people in there who were basically just out to try and find out what's going on with the game. And they were treated as bad as the people who were basically coming onto the forums to troll. And I don't agree with that one bit. Now, over on Twitter, there was a little bit of an argument. I say an argument. It was just basically me putting my feelings towards another of the developers who were involved in this game from the start. Miguel Karen, if anyone remembers him, he was basically the lead guy before Nathan came along. He was the one that basically said open world, basically built us up all this stuff and promises and promises and promises, and it all fell through. Now, he responded to a tweet. I can link it all in the description if you want to read like the full from the start. And he put, I actually disagree. Nathan, his name's Statmatic or something, did the best he could have done with the context of the Behavior Studio. If you knew the budget he had to manage for this game, he made miracles. Please don't judge without knowing the whole context. So I replied to that, as anyone would, is maybe the whole context should have been given to people back in the game. People who spent a lot of money for features that they were promised. Because if you've got to promise something, right, like open world, you have to say to people, maybe this cannot happen because of the budget we've got. You can't just say, okay, we're announcing this product, we're going to have open world, we're planning to have these massive epic scale wars, then you put your game up for pre-order, you sell all these games on the back of these promises, and then you come to it and say, well, basically you didn't know the context of the product. Well, I'm sorry, you give us the context of the product in saying all these facts about the game. This is why we bought your product. I went on with another tweet and I put, so why make promises no one can build on? That is the point here. It wasn't just open world that crashed and burned. It was stuff like Terminators. This happened over a period of development. Terrible business practices, which for me, this is all true. I think EC was run terribly. Whether that comes from behavior and the senior producers, the management involved in the game, we were promised so many things, one after the other. Each time it failed, and each time they just basically just shrugged it off. It was a terrible, terrible way to interact with your community. And his following statement to that was the one that really pissed me off more than anything. I thought to myself, I'm going to reply to this, and then I'm just not even going to speak to the guy, because the statement that he put back to that it's just appalling. And I made sure to tell him in the response that is appalling. And he put, it's called life, and its numerous curveball. Initial budget cuts is something ever present in the industry. Plans are made, but then owners or other external parties change their mind later, or market conditions changes. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it exists. So my reply, sorry, this is kind of a back and forth. So my reply is not good enough. You promised us stuff from the start until you left and behavior carried on. And what I meant by that is that Miguel was the main guy that promised us open world, these massive, huge combat engagements, which got people so hyped up, which people fled towards the game to buy the product, spent hundreds of pounds, hundreds of dollars on the product because of his promises. And then he comes out and says, well, that's basically just life. I find that the biggest dickish statement you could ever throw in someone's face. Again, I just just to end it, I put, people spent their money on promises of your words. For you to come out and say that's life, in quotation marks, is appalling. And I really do. I stick to that statement, and I will stay to that statement forever. Absolutely appalling statement. I think, Miguel, you should hang your head absolutely in shame, sir. That is an absolutely appalling statement. And you know what? It's not just their fault. It's my fault as well for being such a sucker. I saw 40k. I saw PlanetSide. My eyes completely focused on it, and I just spent so much cash on the game because I thought this was going to be the next great thing. I should have held off, you know, putting as much money down, or just not even bloody pre-ordered the game looking back. But hey, what you gotta do? Hindsight is a bitch. Just to end this video, I just want to say that I still have love for Eternal Crusade. I know that sounds daft after everything I've just basically had a little rant about, but Eternal Crusade does hold a special place in my heart. Without Eternal Crusade, I don't think my channel would have ever existed because of the content I had at the start with Eternal Crusade. So I'm still hoping that maybe there is a redemption arc in some kind of way. The only kind of redemption arc I do see for the game is another company coming in, buying the rights and pumping a ton of cash into it and making it the game that we all wanted and we all invested in from the start. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any comments below, please post them below, and we can have a nice little discussion about it down there. Thank you, see you now, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.